from Robert Washington.
Robert landed a couple of really good punches to bring this fight to the ground. And now it just seems to be a little bit of ground and pound going on down here. No real submissions being attempted or set up.
Stephen Percival making sure that they're busy when they're on the ground there. They're tying each other up. They're putting the effort in. And it's Washington that's got the free right hand.
And both fighters back to their feet.
And great applause from these spectators at ringside who enjoyed that little tussle. Excuse the word little, it was nothing but. Washington going backwards again, but we've already seen how effective he can be once he picks his spot. It's all about timing, and look at Payne's face. It's a mess. He could well have a broken nose, and he's got a pretty awful cut above his left eye. It just looks as if it's off to the side of the eye, and that may not affect his vision. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, it's really not a problem until the blood starts coming directly down into the eye. It seems to be going off to the left side of his head, so he seems to be not impaired or bothered by the cut.
How worried is a fighter once he knows he's bleeding, though? It must have some kind of an impact.
Well, it definitely can play with you psychologically, but Payne is definitely a veteran. You know, he's been in there and had some of the best scraps, so I'm sure he's very confident in his current skill set, but he knows he's probably got to be behind in this round, and he's got to make up some leg room real quick.
Well, by contrast, Washington's face is crystal clear. No marks, no bumps. And that was a good right hand inside. And again, it was the counter. He's got a great deal of skill on the counter punch. So much so that we're now seeing Washington inch forward. And Payne, while holding his ground, is no longer the pursuer. It's much more of an even contest in terms of who's chasing who.
Nice inside leg kick. And to the outside.
Well, such thrilling handwork earlier in the round from Washington that you just want to see more. But he really does like to pick his moment, doesn't he? That was a big punch from Payne. It didn't connect, but he gave it everything. Telegraphed that kick by shuffling his legs, taking him a couple of steps before he threw the kick. Final 10 seconds of the second round. Does a 360, but not quite in the way we were discussing earlier on.
Good round two.
Fair to say that Washington won that round. Mitch, how did you see the first going? What does your card look like?
Yeah, the first round, the first round you could give the round to Washington just based on the sheer fact that he had the takedown. But the second round was definitely, with a big right hand right there, was definitely to Washington's favor.
So impressive. It's just glorious to see a man with an economy of punches picking his spot and landing flush and clean.
Here they are trading. See, that really wasn't a knockdown. That was more of a slip that Washington just took advantage of by jumping on top.
Whether they can staunch the flow throughout this third and final round is yet to be determined. My bet is probably not, because Robert Washington will go after it. Any advantage you can take in MMA, you will take. And Washington will be going after that left eye. Again, Payne's punching well short of the mark. He's a slippery customer, Washington, stays out of range, which is what makes it so impressive when he comes inside and gets those single punches off.
There's his trademark.
That was the move we were talking about.
There it was again. He attempted it. And it's followed up with a Superman punch. Definitely likes the fancy handwork.
He does, doesn't he? Quite how he decided that this was the appropriate time to pull it off, I don't know. But look at his nose, streaming blood again from that right nostril. But no guts, no glory. Far from giving up. He's giving it all he can, Josh Payne. Full credit to him. Still very much the aggressor, but he was on the end of a good right hand from Washington again, whose handwork is so impressive.
He's definitely worked a lot of his counter punching.
Oh, ducked underneath that one, did Payne. Full credit to him for doing that, because it was a right hook that carried some viciousness, and good footwork as well. Again, to the midriff this time. And it's Washington who's on the retreat, but he dives back in.
Payne shakes off that takedown attempt by Washington.
Washington takes a moment to suck in some air midway through the final round. These fighters will be tired, but I'm impressed by Payne's endurance.
He's definitely down on the scorecards at this point, so he's really got to try to make something happen in this third and final round.
Well, he certainly is trying, but Washington gets the better of him again on the ground.
There's that takedown again. That wrestling pedigree is coming in really handy right about now.
Elbow work.
He's working again in Payne's half guard.
Sporadic applause from the spectators here at ringside, appreciative of the effort that these two men have put in for almost 15 minutes now. Still both punching it out. Payne still bleeding from at least 2 places on his face. And he gets in a nice shot inside to Washington's jaw.
He's definitely trying to control Washington's posture as much as he can, but he's having a hard time.
Payne's really going to have to pull it out of the bag if he's going to get a victory here. It doesn't look as if he is. On our cards at ringside, it's Washington ahead. And although Payne has been the aggressor in this round, it probably won't be enough.
Yeah, at this point, late in the third round, these guys are really slippery. Submissions are going to be hard. It's kind of trying to like hold on to a fish at this point.
Yes.
Okay, stop. Let's stand it up, gentlemen.
Stephen Percival says, let's get it up on the feet and end the contest standing. Show these spectators some action. I always have a dig at Stephen Percival. I think he's too hard on these guys. Haven't they given us enough already?
He definitely wants to get some excitement going on in this fight right now. These guys are surely delivering. These guys had a battle.
Oh. I think he had half a mind to do that backhanded spinning shot again, didn't he?
It's a risky move, especially the way that Washington's evading his punches. He can't find his distance.
Payne's punching hasn't been up to scratch today, and Washington has really enjoyed the opportunity to counter with some style. As a really sleek-looking fighter, really been impressed with his stand-up work. Again, the jab falls short. Oh, a roundhouse right hand that was a good foot off the mark.
Payne's definitely trying to
good shot.
Counter that leg kick with a straight right hand.
It's quite an exhibition from Washington of counter punching. Just waiting for his opponent to commit himself and then punishing him as he recoils. It's been a joy to watch. And he tries to take him to the ground, up against the cage, holding his opponent short, which is illegal. Referee pulls it away. Final 8 seconds of the contest, and this crowd here at ringside will break into applause any second now. The hooter goes. It's got to be Washington, hasn't it, Mitch?
I have him ahead on all 3 rounds. He just really controlled and dictated the pace of that fight with his takedowns and his counter punching.
Absolute credit, though, to Josh Payne, particularly in that last round, for coming back with all he could muster. What a pleasure that one was to watch. Art and grit, all in one fight for you. That's martial combat.
Judge Brett Gleason scored the round 30-28. Judge Joey Lipperton scored the round 30-27. And Judge Judd Sanchez scored the round 30-27. And by way of unanimous decision, the winner in the red corner, Robert the Beast Washington!
a masterful display of defensive boxing, counter-punching. Has that always been your style, or is that just something you adopted for this fight?
Well, I kind of studied my guy a little bit, so I kind of knew that he likes to come forward, he likes to throw punches, so the game plan was to slip his punches and try to counter and try to knock him out. But he was a tough dude, real tough, more tough than I expected. I didn't underestimate him, but he brought it today. I got a lot of stuff to work on myself.
Well, it looked pretty impressive to us. Just tell us about that marvelous counter-punch in the second round that dropped him for the first time. You must have been pleased.
Yeah, well, he kept coming in, and I knew he kept coming in with that jab, so I said next time he's going to do it, I'm going to duck the jab and throw overhand right, and that's exactly what I did, duck the jab and throw overhand right. Caught him, tried to finish him. I think I rushed in a little bit too fast, but yeah, he recovered pretty fast.
Robert, we know you viewed this as a step up in class. Are we going to see you here again, though, at Martial Combat? Because everybody appreciated that at ringside.
I mean, I love the fans. I love fighting out here. I mean, Singapore is beautiful. The fans are exciting. Yeah, I definitely want to come back.
Round of applause, everybody. Very impressive display. Congratulations, Robert Washington. Well done.